Alright. Hello, everybody. Deacon here. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be ranking Undertale Yellow characters, just specifically these few characters down here, based on how good they would be as a roommate. So I'm going to go in order as, that's how you normally do it when you're not insane. So starting off, Desbat. Actually, before I do anything, this is all based off of, post Undertale crap, and in these scenarios, these characters are all alone, except for, Ceroba and Kanako. These two, they stay together. Besides, why the hell would you roommate with an unsupervised child? What the fuck's wrong with you? Anyways, so starting off with Desbat, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, D tier, because Desbat is really sensitive to sound. You can't make any noise at all. Just all around painful to have around, especially when you're like me, because I make noises, obviously. So I can't really do anything about that. So Desbat gets a D tier. Next on the list is Dalv. Dalv is an interesting case. I could definitely say that much. Because Dalv he's kind of like a recluse, sort of. I mean, he does have the confidence to play in front of a crowd. He's really good at the organ, so I mean, having organ music isn't all that bad. It's pretty good. I suppose really the only downside is that he cannot cook at all, and he's relatively quiet, so you'd more or less just sort of be left to your own devices. So that gives Dalv a solid B tier. Whoops, did not mean to open that. Next on the list is Martlet. Martlet is a pretty good contender for any form of roommate, I suppose, because she it's really hard to describe, at least for me, because she's able to she's really friendly. She can probably get things done, but she is pretty scatterbrained and, well, clumsy. And she does yap a lot, but at the level, it's she yaps at acceptable levels, at least for me. So it's really hard to pinpoint this, I guess. So just there, you have A tier Martlet. Next is Bailador. Yeah, it goes with Desbat. Seriously, these two, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. One is too strict and just entirely. One is. It's really hard to pinpoint this. I already explained Desbat, but Bailador, oh my god. Imagine having to live with this guy. He will make you dance and exercise 24/7. Or, well, I mean, sure, there will definitely be breaks and stuff, but this guy would just be way too energetic, especially for me, because, I mean, yeah, sure, I've walked quite a lot, but I would not be able to dance as much as he could dance at all. So, immediate D tier. Next up is Starlo. Um, he seems pretty alright. He's friendly, he's pretty upstanding, he likes cowboys and stuff. I suppose really one of the main downsides is like that cowboy side of his would definitely like show. He's more or less just a pretty good guy. So I'd probably give him. Mm, I'll give him. Yeah, I'll give him high A tier because he. Again, sorry to the Martlet lovers out there. Martlet's just kind of. Well, she's scared. I I wouldn't trust her with my house. Let's say that. And now grouping these two, oh boy, this is gonna be kind of weird. Because they're a duo package, and this is going to be like post Undertale. So maybe Kanako would probably be like an amalgamate or something. I don't know. Ceroba seems like she would be able to at least clean up the house because she does manage that huge house, even if she did leave it quite unkept after Kanako fell down. But that was because the house gave her bad memories. So if she's living in a different house or living with you, I'd probably say she'd be good at keeping the place clean at the very least. There's not really much to note here, at least aside from how she would probably be kind of depressing to be around since, she did drink quite a lot, and she probably will still keep drinking, considering, what happened to Kanako and how she would be just all over the place about how Kaneko's an amalgamate and all that. She wouldn't be too happy. So, main downside, I suppose, would be like the fur that would be tracked all over the Fox Mom house. What the hell did I just say? But she would probably like track a lot of fur, but she'd probably be able to clean it up because again, she seems relatively chill, but she also drinks a lot. So you'd probably have to clean up like one or two things of beer or adult soda just kind of around. So it, it it really depends. She's more or less a confusing package. And considering it's a package deal with Kanako, but also I am kind of biased. So I don't care what you say, S tier. Kanako, on the other hand, package deal with Ceroba, so yeah, she kind of comes with Ceroba in the whole package because you can't have one without the other. That would just be stupid. Like, what are you, frickin' stupid? Um, Managing Kanako, I suppose, would be pretty okay-ish. I mean, she would probably she'd definitely probably track goop around the house, but then again, she could probably just reassimilate that into herself and then just clean that off. Plus, you have Ceroba managing her, so and then there's the issue of you're having a freaking amalgamate in your house. that would probably freak out the neighbors or your Uber Eats driver. I don't know. just just imagine answering the door and then the Uber Eats driver looks behind you and then they just see a pile of goop in the shape of a fox just roaming around the house being like, "What's that?" And it would just freak out the driver. He'd be like, "What the fuck is that thing behind you?" "Oh, that's just Kanako. She does that." It'd be weird to explain. Um, but in the case where she is perfectly fine, I suppose the only downside would be the fur and her natural curious nature as a child. Just kind of, she'd definitely be quite exploring around the house. I don't really know how I would put it, but she'd probably be like all over the place. Like you could be working on you could be working on a project for something and then Kanako would just be like looming over your shoulder being like, "What are you working on?" And yeah, it if you once you get used to it though, it's probably going to be all right. And besides, package deal with Ceroba, so for the most part you'd have Ceroba dealing with her and then you'd just be on your own, I suppose. Again, the real main downside is just like she's gonna be tracking goop around the house sometimes, like if depending on like how she's formed at the moment. But for the most part, I think it'd be pretty manageable, especially since Ceroba's gonna be doing most of the hard work anyways. So package deal, the package deal gets a hard S tier from me. I don't really know what the hell else to say there. I mean, there's your. I suppose we don't even need the. I we don't even need the S tier, honestly. I mean, the C tier. Fuck, I'm trailing. Still trying to get used to my scratched lip. Anyways, this was for the most part just a voice, just like me testing out my voice in like commentary. And now you know my stance on the Undertale Yellow characters. Not the robots, though, because the robots would probably just be stuck in the Steamworks or wherever the hell else. Sorry, Axis and Gardener fans, you maybe next time. But for now, this is the tier list. You have the package deal at S tier because I'm biased as hell. You have the cowboy and the bird at A tier because everyone loves these two, and also because they'd actually be manageable for roommates. Dalv at B because he's just Dalv. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the guy. He's just a bit bland for my taste. And then, loud and quiet over here with D because they absolutely suck. Seriously. Anyways, that's the tier list. Um, just this is all for like entertainment purposes. Don't like take my word for it. This is just like how I see things. I really only drew inspiration from this video because I saw a video that kind of grouped like Undertale and Undertale Yellow characters based on how good they would be as roommates. So I decided to go for every boss that you fight except for the ones in the Steamworks. If I were to group Gardener and Axis, I'd say Gardener would get D tier and Axis would get C. This is purely because they're just like, sure, one of them helps and all that, but the other one is just like, why would you have that in your house? Why would you have something like that in your house? And then you just have like this malfunctioning, possibly malfunctioning robot. We don't know what the hell goes on with Axis. We don't know what the hell Chujin did. And of course, I'm not going to group Chujin in this because he's dead. You cannot roommate with a dead guy. That would be stupid. I suppose that's it. See ya.